The power of focus, lessons from a Buddhist story. In our fast-paced world, filled with distractions, it is easy to become overwhelmed by the negativity surrounding us. Whether it's in our personal lives, our work environment, or even in our spiritual pursuits, the external noise can seem relentless. This sentiment is beautifully illustrated through a simple yet profound Buddhist story of a student monk and his wise master. Let us delve deeper into this tale, unpack the hidden wisdom, and explore how its lessons can truly change our lives. The beginning of the story, a search for peace. The story begins with a young student monk approaching his master, expressing his dissatisfaction with the environment at the temple. His words reflect a sentiment that many of us may have felt at some point. I can't live here anymore. I want to leave and find a peaceful, quiet monastery. The student's reasoning behind his desire to leave was simple yet relatable. He felt surrounded by toxic people. He mentioned that some monks were deeply involved in politics, others constantly gossiped, and many simply wasted their time. In his mind, this negative atmosphere made it impossible for him to practice his spiritual path, and the solution seemed clear. Escape to a place where no one was toxic, where peace reigned. At this point, the master could have easily let the student go, sympathizing with his concerns. However, instead of immediately granting the student's request, the master used this moment as an opportunity to impart a vital life lesson. The master's challenge, a test of focus. In response to the student monk's plea, the master posed a challenge. He handed the student a spoonful of water and said, "You must carry this spoonful of water around the monastery, but you must not spill even a single drop. If you can do this, I will let you go." The challenge seemed strange at first glance. How could carrying a spoonful of water around the monastery help solve the student's problem? Nonetheless, eager to leave the toxic environment, the student accepted the task. For the next few hours, the student monk walked carefully around the monastery, his focus entirely on the spoonful of water in his hand. He was so absorbed in his task that he did not spill a drop, fulfilling the master's condition. Focus drowns out the noise. After successfully completing the challenge, the student returned to his master, eager to be granted permission to leave. However, before the master let him go, he asked a few questions. "While you were carrying the spoonful of water, did you hear any monks gossiping? Did you hear any of the monks talking about politics? Did you hear anyone speaking negatively about you?" The student, somewhat puzzled by these questions, realized something important. He had not heard any of the gossip, negativity, or politics he had complained about earlier. His mind had been entirely focused on keeping the water in the spoon, so much so that the distractions around him had faded into the background. With a gentle smile, the master revealed the essence of his lesson. When you are fully focused on your goal, you don't have time to pay attention to all the noise around you. How this lesson applies to everyday life. This story offers a profound insight into how we live our lives. It's not uncommon for people to feel surrounded by negativity, be it at work, in social circles, or even within families. We often wish to escape these environments in search of peace, thinking that if only the external world were different, we could finally find the quiet and serenity we seek. However, as the master monk teaches, the peace we seek does not come from changing our environment, but from changing our focus. Just as the student monk learned that he could block out the noise of negativity by concentrating on his task, we too can learn to focus on our goals and ignore the distractions around us. The power of focus can be transformative. When we give our full attention to our goals, the external noise, whether it's the opinions of others, the distractions of modern life, or even our own doubts, begins to fade away. It's not that the noise stops existing, but rather, it stops affecting us in the same way. This principle can be applied to every aspect of life, from professional challenges to personal relationships. To understand this better, let's look at a few real-life examples of how focus can change the way we navigate challenges. 1. Dealing with workplace negativity. Imagine a scenario in which you work in an office environment where gossip and politics are rampant. It's easy to get sucked into the drama and let it affect your performance. However, just like the student monk, if you shift your focus entirely to your work, the distractions will start to lose their power over you. You can create a mental space where you are so absorbed in your tasks that the gossip becomes nothing more than background noise. Many successful professionals have shared that the key to thriving in competitive and toxic work environments is not to engage in the politics or distractions, but to focus solely on the quality of their work. This focus not only improves performance, but also fosters inner peace. 2. Navigating difficult relationships. Relationships can sometimes be challenging, especially when there is negativity or conflict. A common reaction is to focus on the faults and flaws of others, which only amplifies the tension. However, if we choose to focus on improving ourselves and our responses to difficult situations, we can rise above the conflict. Take, for example, a family member who is always critical or negative. Instead of engaging with their negativity, you can choose to focus on being kind, patient, and true to your values. Over time, this shift in focus can lead to a more peaceful and harmonious relationship, or at the very least, it can prevent the negativity from affecting your inner peace. The power of choice. Positivity over negativity. Another important lesson from the story is the power of choice. The master monk reminds us that we have the power to choose how we react to the world around us. We can either allow the negativity to consume us, or we can choose to focus on positivity. In today's world, social media is a prime example of how negativity can spread quickly. It's easy to get caught up in online arguments, criticisms, and disagreements. However, just like in the story, we have the choice to either react with negativity or to focus on spreading positivity. Choosing positivity doesn't mean ignoring the problems around us or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it means acknowledging them but choosing not to let them dictate our emotions or actions. By focusing on what we can control, our own responses and attitudes, we empower ourselves to live more fulfilling lives. The true path to inner peace. The story of the student monk and his master is not just a lesson in focus. It's a reminder that peace comes from within. No matter where we go or who we surround ourselves with, there will always be negativity. However, we have the power to block out the noise by focusing on our goals and purpose. This story invites us to reflect on our own lives. How often do we let the negativity of others affect our peace of mind? How often do we wish to escape our environment, thinking that the problem lies outside of ourselves? The truth is, the change we seek must come from within. By focusing on what truly matters to us, we can transcend the noise and find the peace we desire. In every moment, we have the choice to either engage with the distractions or to remain focused on our path. The more we practice this discipline of focus, the less the external world will be able to disturb our inner peace. Like the student monk, we too can learn to carry our spoonful of water through the chaos of life without spilling a single drop. And in the end, the lesson is clear. Peace is not about changing our circumstances, but about changing our focus. This transformative insight, drawn from a simple Buddhist story, can indeed change our lives if we apply it consistently. By mastering the art of focus, we unlock the ability to navigate even the most chaotic environments with grace, purpose, and inner peace.